back. I'm Keith. It's the last weekend in March. Unbelievable. It's still in the morning and it's like 60 degrees already. What I've been doing is each week when I come over here, or each time that I come over here, generally picking up a load of gravel and spreading it on the road here. So I just spread about 5 tons. The gravel pit is over near my house, and it's not that far out of the way to go get a load of gravel and then bring it over on my way, and then with the dump trailer it makes it a pretty easy job to spread it when I come over to do one of my other projects. So I think that was the 7th load, so about 35 tons so far. This section of the road was new last year. They put down some really big stuff first, but over the last year, a lot of that's just kind of got worked down into the ground. So putting down another layer of, this is number 3, before the construction starts, hopefully in May, and then after that we'll do a finished layer on top of that, hopefully. So that's what I've done so far here. Now I'm going to get into continuing the project from last weekend. Good morning, welcome back to Woodland Farm. Beautiful day again. Cold in the morning in the 20s, supposed to be in the 60s this afternoon. Project for today is to clean out some of this stuff in here. This is where I'm going to plant the persimmons and that are coming this spring, probably in a month or so, and then longer term to make more of an orchard in this area. So we've got a couple things to work around. Number one, these are black walnut trees right in here that I want to keep. And black walnuts also have a toxin that they put into the soil. So certain plants can grow near them and other plants can't. Actually, the persimmons can tolerate that. I don't know about things like apples and pears and cherries and things like that. The other issue is down here I have a number, actually quite a few tree of heavens. So this is an invasive tree that we don't want here. So I treated them last year, and I'm hoping they're going to be dead. But they're also a colony tree, so I don't want to cut them until I know that they're dead. So these here, and then all of these smaller trees down here are all tree of heaven. They're all part of this colony. And if they're still alive and I cut them, what they'll do is it'll prompt them to shoot up a whole bunch of new shoots, and that's not what I want. So I don't want to cut these yet until I know, after they would have leafed out, that they're dead, and hopefully that'll be this spring. So I'm going to leave these right in here for the time being, but the stuff that's sort of back in there a little bit further, all this this junky stuff down on the ground, we're hoping to trim that stuff down today. My brother is in town, and he's going to help me. So we're going to come down to maybe about here, leave these bigger trees, and then go back in there probably 75, 100 feet, something like that, and just knock down this low stuff for now, and then then I can work on what we're going to do is probably leave it and just put it in rows, stack the brush up in rows that'll break down over time as the fruit trees sort of grow up. So that's the plan for today. So this area we're going to clear is right here adjacent to, this was the first area that I cleared 2 years ago when I bought the property. This was all piled full of multiflora rose and bush honeysuckle, things like that. And so I have got some clover here on the ground. We got some blueberries, some other raspberries and things. The bees are over here. So this area down here is the area that I'm essentially going to longer term sort of make into an orchard. small orchard, nothing big. But as you see, we walk around here, it's just a bunch, mostly just a bunch of junky stuff. So there's some bigger trees over there. Want to keep those. Going to keep these black walnuts, but knock down a bunch of this other stuff. So last Sunday, we walked around here, and I mentioned that my brother was in town and we were going to work on knocking this stuff down. And we did. We worked maybe 2.5 hours or so. Got a lot done. I had my camera set up, but we started down below, and you couldn't see most of what we did until right at the end. And by then my memory card was full, so I didn't really get much of that in here. But what you can see is, you know, we definitely did this. So the project today is I'm going to work on kind of cleaning some of this stuff up, and you know, basically we're going to stack a lot of it into a pile, kind of running across here, maybe another pile too, depending on how big it ends up getting, and just letting that break down over the next few years. I didn't get into here yet to cut this down, so I'll probably do that today, hopefully. But most of this stuff is already cut down. I'm gonna probably take down this tree, but we kept this tree. I think maybe that's a black walnut, and there's some other little stuff still that needs to be cleaned up once we get some of this stuff out of the way. But what you can see is we did get quite a bit of this cut down, and some of it dragged out, but still got to work on over there. So you know, that's kind of what I'm going to work on today. Not sure how much I'll get to. Again, these bigger trees here and these here are that tree of heaven, so I want to wait till I know for sure that they're dead before I cut them down. But the smaller stuff, this is a big multiflora rose bush in here. We can get that down, and some of these other little things. But we did get quite a bit done last week, and like I said, in a couple of hours. So I'm gonna work on that some more today. But the idea here is probably in early May, I'm gonna get 10 persimmon trees, and I'm going to plant them in here. They're going to be little, you know, they'll be real small little trees, so it's going to take a while for them to grow. And then, you know, over the next few years, probably clear out some more here, and then maybe put in, you know, some cherry trees or apple trees or something like that. Not a big orchard, but you know, something to play around with, something for the animals, and then, you know, hopefully I get something out of it. Well, I think I'm going to call it a day for this part of the work for today. Seems like 3.5 hours is about the limit I could do for this kind of work. Pretty rough on you, but I got quite a bit done here. I mean, where I'm walking right now, this was all full of down trees. I did cut some more stuff down here that I didn't drag out. But again, you know, trying to get stuff down before it leaves out. This thing that's starting to turn green, I got most of it cut off, but pretty good brush pile here. But I'm expecting that'll probably break down in maybe 3 or 4 years, and you know, so I can plant fruit trees up here. I'm not sure if I'm going to try to smooth this out or not. I have a friend with a skid steer. I didn't do any work down on this side of the pile today, but yeah, so there's a clearing down here and there's a clearing up there, and again, we'll just let this break down over the next few years. But you know, so I'll still work on over there, and again, we'll be able to clear out all the way over to that pipeline, so that'll be a nice area down here. And then up there be plenty of room for, you know, 10 or 12 different kinds of, or hopefully 10 persimmons, and then, you know, a number of other kinds of fruit trees over time. So I'm down here by where I have my lion's mane mushroom logs, and when I inoculated those logs back in January, I did not put wax on the plugs. So I've been meaning to get back down here to do that, so that's what I'm going to try to do today. So I brought my little camp stove. Let's see if I can melt some wax and get those things sealed up. Hopefully this doesn't catch on fire. So I have this canning and candle making wax, household paraffin, that I just got at Walmart. Usually I use beeswax, but I'm all out of beeswax. So again, these are lion's mane mushrooms plugs that I inoculated this as a beech tree. So beech logs is where lion's mane apparently prefer to grow. So I had this big beech tree that fell down in December. Cut some branches off, and so I have these logs here to do, and I had 1,000 plugs for lion's mane mushrooms. I think 18 months for them to emerge. Well, there they are. Logs all waxed up. Lion's mane mushroom logs.